What's up guys, we're gonna beatz and I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a GloRilla type beat. It's been a while since we made like an artist video, so it'll be fun to get back into it. If you do end up enjoying the video, make sure you do hit that sub button and turn post notifications on so you don't miss a video. Let's hop into it. Alright, so real quick, I do have something for you that I want you to download if you want to. So I usually make mini kits when I do like artist videos if the style is different enough. So I felt like this was different enough to provide drums specifically for this, so I just threw in some drums for that style. It's not much, it's a mini kit. Okay, so go ahead and download that if you want to follow along or you just want the drums. So now we can go ahead and kind of make our melody and get on with the video. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So BPM first, I would say 75 to like 80 is like a real good sweet spot, but of course when you're making beats you could kind of do whatever you want to do, but that's kind of like the gist of it, so we can kind of go somewhere in between. So I'm gonna grab a scale real quick because these are super easy to make, and I'm just defaulting my F# minor. It's my favorite scale. Okay, so for the piano, this is very, very important, okay, if you want to get the sound. So you don't want to use a soft piano, you want something that is more hard. Okay, that is very important if you want this to sound somewhat authentic. Okay, so melody wise, this is super easy. It's not really that difficult if you want it to be. Now if you want to add layers and all this extra stuff, you can, but this style is very, very simple and straightforward. So what you want to do if you're new to music, you want to, these notes that are right next to each other are these like half steps, right? So they're notes that are right next to each other, and these notes will give you a dark sound. Okay, and then when you travel off of those notes, you'll start to get melodic. Okay. Okay. So we want to use these notes with this tension here. Okay. So for this style, it's kind of like a stab. So something like this. Kind of like this melody here. Something like that. You can mix it up if you want to add stuff in, but that's pretty much how you do it. Okay, so that's kind of now in this area here, and I'm just explaining kind of the rhythm here, you want to shorten this up a bit. You can kind of offset things, right, if you want. Right, and now we're just going to kind of utilize what I just talked about, make this a little bit larger, and let's probably do something like this. And then let's travel back to here. And I want these to come a little earlier, shorten this up a bit. Okay, I kind of like how that panned out, so I'm gonna keep this. So this is it. This is literally it. These beats are super simple, really nice beats. It should be easy, especially if you're new to producing. This should be super easy to do. So you want to go a low octave, as low as you get. The lower you go, the better the beat will be. So if you can drop it down as far as you can, it'll sound a lot better. But I'm just stick with this, and we're gonna pull this up so it has a little bit more range. Okay, and then if you want to change things around, you can try like moving stuff around. I don't know. Right, it's up to you ultimately, but I think I want to keep this as simple as possible. So that is the hardest part of the video. Everything else is going to be extremely easy. I'm gonna try to make it super straightforward. So let's go ahead and move on to our 808. Okay, so now we're gonna do our bass. Now, a key thing you want if you have your own drums is you want a muffled 808, so you kind of want to roll off the high end a bit. Now sometimes it has some distortion on it, but for the most part the 808 kind of sounds very subby. So that's why I have something like this. Okay, now this is super easy, right, because this is pretty much our bass line, right? So typically with these beats you just paste it in there and just pick the right octave. Right, and then obviously later you can when we have our drums, you can kind of add in some more right? And I will probably just put this over here. Just for bounce purposes. Now, we are in halftime. Keep that in mind. So the timing will be a little different because you would usually see it like this. And I'm just trying to explain loose ends so that you can go and make your own beats without having to watch any tutorials and stuff all the time. So it would look like this usually, okay? But since we're in halftime, if I right click, right, we're in halftime, right, it would shrink it. You would shrink it down, right, because it's playing, not playing as fast, right? Okay, so we just shrunk it down. All right, so that is the 808. So now what we can do is go ahead and move on to the drums. All right, so now we're gonna get into the drums. So since we're in halftime, usually the drums are way easier in halftime because when you're in double, it's so spread out, you have all these spaces to work with. But really in halftime, you could literally just throw anything anywhere and it usually will sound good. So I'm gonna delete this scale because it's kind of making everything stretched out. I just want it to be very simple. We're just gonna use the same pattern. So we're gonna try to get as close as possible to the style. And we could just throw these in real quick. Probably turn these up. I think that's a good level for the clap and snare. It's kind of a mix of it, okay? And I'm gonna just copy this over, all right? And you can just copy the pattern and then just make an altered version, right? And did I turn these up? Yeah. And if you want more thump, and this is just a little trick that I use, I copy this and I pull it down one. Right now, this kick isn't fit for this. It's usually more like trap rap kicks. This is kind of a little different. So I wouldn't do that for this, but that's just another trick you can use if you want it to have a little bit more low end in your kick. Okay, so let's keep going. And then for the hi-hats, there are a lot of, if I go, let's see, where's the kits? There are a lot of perks and stuff you can use. I just threw in here, but I'm just gonna use these hi-hats because it's simpler. And pretty much you can just kind of throw a pattern. Like if you want to throw a little pattern, like, I don't know, let's do something like that. Simple like that. And now it's sounding a lot like the style. And you could just kind of repeat that. I'm gonna do something like this. And then I'm gonna come here and then I'm gonna right click, set to next bar, right click, set to next bar, right click, set to next bar. And it should just repeat this over and over. And you can change the velocity. And then if you want to have fun, you can kind of pan it. And I want to pan these as well. Maybe pan one this way, this way. And I want to flip them. And at this point, you're just kind of having fun, just tweaking the beat, right? All right. So I think that's good. This is the beat. Let's play it. And of course, we'll probably need to mix because the piano is low in the 808. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is throw some effects on and just show you some things you can do to kind of tidy up the beat so it's not so loose. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm gonna just go over some effects I threw on. I tried to keep it very simple. I was tempted to do more, but I just wanted to make sure I stay true to the style. So for my drums, now since these are a little loose, I put these in a bus. So how you do that is you hold control, or I don't know what it is for Mac, maybe command. You click and drag, and then on the empty bus that you have, you right click and you go to track routing, and then you can go to route select to this track only, and everything should be, let me make sure that I mute these, should be routed here, right? So what I add on here is a transient processor, very useful tool, and you can see I just boosted some of the highs a bit so it's crispier. But here, pretty much I just shortened the decay of the sounds. So if I pull this all the way this way, you can tell that the decay of the sounds are very long, so they last longer. So when you pull it this way, they're sharper. And that helps with the bounce in the beat. So typically I just go in between this knob. I don't really mess with it too much, and then I just pull up the attack a bit. There are other things you can mess with, but that's pretty much what I do. Okay, and then we can do the kick. Now for the kick, I just added a EQ and put it in mono. And also I flipped the polarity so that it matched the 808 a little bit better. So this is the EQ, and you can see I just kind of boosted some areas so it's a little bit more punchy and subby. I just took out some of the highs because I felt like it was too like crispy in the high end. Right, and it's still even a little bit crispier. I want it to be a little subby, okay? And that's just a personal thing. So 808, EQO, and this is just, wait, what happened to my EQ? Oh wait, it's not on. All right. So I just kind of took out some of the highs so it's a little bit more muffled. Not a huge deal, but it just kind of cleaned it up, okay? All right, and I'm just explaining everything just because I don't have control over who watches this. I don't know the skill levels, so I'm just trying to be transparent. So for the piano, I just added a Valhalla room, and this kind of put it in the background so it's not like in the same area as the drums. So I'll show you what I mean. It's not a bit, and if I pull the mix up, it'll be a lot harsher. You can see it kind of goes to the background, so just, you know, stuff like that. Now the master, I added a fast distortion and a slight distortion, and then a soft clipper. Okay, so for the soft clipper, usually I just multiply this number by 3. So if it's negative 4.4, I do times 3, and it's about 12. Okay, and it gets you a clean kind of mix there. And then this is the distortion, and this is just extra, just an easy way to get the crispiness. All right, and that's how to make GloRilla type beat. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.